Hey, I think I'm live on air if you're watching on YouTube, and the webinar is going to start officially soon. Watching the countdown. Okay, I think we're live. Hey. Okay, if you can see me, I'm just watching me on another screen just to make sure that it's working.
I think we're live.
Okay, I'm just going to close that page down. Right, cool. Hey, hi everybody. Thank you for joining me today to talk about Facebook ads. This is part 2 of part 1 that started couple of months ago now. We've been a little bit tardy in getting this one up, but we got there eventually. I'm Angela. I'm just going to let some people come in, because obviously, you know, I'm prompt and on time for once, but we know that, you know, everybody's got busy lives and you're all doing different things. So yeah, a little bit of small talk while we're here. You should see a chat screen below the video here. You can type in any questions and things that you have in there. I've got we've got our assistant Venus on board. Hey Venus, she's going to be monitoring the questions and putting them into a document for me so that I will answer them at the end. We will be doing a big Q&A at the end. I've already got some questions in from email, so thank you if you've already sent an email in. Hopefully you can hear me okay, so just type in the chat box just to let me know that you can hear me. I've got my phone here sitting for notifications, just so that Miranda's watching as well. So hey Miranda, and hopefully Joe Murphy, who's our new assistant helping us out. So yeah, if you hear some little pings, it's just me getting some notifications. I just need to make sure that you can all hear me okay, because, you know, maybe one time I did start the webinar without a microphone on. So today I've made sure it's switched on. So yeah, just type in the chat box to make sure that you can hear me. Okay, I'm just going to go back to the page on YouTube and we can make sure that that's all good. All right. Awesome. Okay, I'm going to assume that everything's okay and that you can hear me fine. Excellent. All right, so let's get started. We don't want to waste your time. So again, thank you for coming. I'm Angela from Dory Media. So today I'm going to be running through some slides talking about strategies that the Facebook ad experts or specialists, people who know what they're doing, the strategies that they're using. I'm going to talk a little bit about the Power Editor, and also just some techniques and tactics and things that you should be doing even if you're not running Facebook ads already, but if you're thinking of running them sometime soon. So I'm gonna, and then after at the end, I'm gonna come back onto me and you can see my red hair and we can have a Q&A. And please, lots of questions. I'm happy to stay on here and answer your questions. Obviously, I can't go deep and show you into the Ads Manager and the Power Editor, but yeah, I will answer as many of them as I can. Cool, so I am gonna go to my screen share. Let's do that. Present to everybody. And we are good to go. So unless I hear any different, Miranda or Venus, if there is anything that you can't hear or anything with the screen, please just let me know via Slack and then I will know that everything's okay. Cool, Miranda said it's working fine. Awesome. Okay, so you're here today for Get Smart with Facebook Ads with me, Angela. Obviously, I'm the red-haired one, and Miranda there with her lovely baby belly that she's managing to hide with her Mac. These photos were taken when she was about 6 or 7 months pregnant. So Miranda is a mum to Sophia. She's 7 months old at the moment, hence why Miranda's not here with me. Miranda and I have been working together with Dory Media for 2 years now. I started Dory Media 3 years ago. And initially I started out doing social media management and kind of some virtual assistant things. I've since over those 3 years, really honed down my knowledge, and now I specialize in Facebook ads. Miranda is our Instagram guru. Miranda runs our Instagram account. Miranda's got a background in PR and multimedia, and she does a lot of the strategy that we work with, the clients that we work with, all the overall online marketing. And so together we reckon we make a pretty good team. A little bit of a background on where I'm from. I am actually a forensic chemist by degree. I specialised in explosives. So I've got a little bit of an analytical mind, you could say, hence why I think I'm so attracted to the whole Facebook ad side of thing, and analysing the data, looking at what's working, looking at what's not working, tweaking things, and really delving deep into how to make Facebook ads work for my clients and also for us in our own business. I'm a mum of 6.5-year-old twins. So the past 6.5 years have been rather busy, but it's a bit easier now that they're at school. So why do I do Facebook ads? Now, this is a little picture of me. I was on a podcast with the lovely Tracy from Mums with Hustle, and I was talking all about Facebook ads. And really, the main reason that I do Facebook ads is because it can make a massive difference to your business. That's really why I do what I do. I know that most of you on here will be small business owners, and it can be a huge struggle. Well, it is. It's not even it can be. It's a huge struggle to run your own business, to have a life, and ultimately to make money out of it. I know that Facebook ads can make a huge difference to pretty much most businesses out there. They really can work. And that's why I do what I do, because I want to help people to have a more successful business, ultimately. So one of the questions I often get asked, so I'm just going to show you just a couple of case studies to begin with, when some people still say, I don't think they'll work for my business. Facebook ads just will not work for my business. So a couple of case studies from clients, that results I've had in the past month with their ads. One of the common questions is, how much should I spend on ads? And people think that they have to spend a fortune on ads to get any kind of results, and that's just simply not true. So the first example is a local business, also a friend of mine, and we ran a little Mother's Day special ad for her, and we spent $21 on Facebook ads, and that resulted in $600 worth of sales for her small business. So we didn't spend a lot. I think that's a pretty good return on investment, don't you? So you don't have to spend a lot to get something back in Facebook ads. Obviously, you need to know what you're doing, but it is accessible to everybody. Facebook really wants people to get involved with Facebook ads. Conversely, I have a client who sells an online course, and we spent $7,500 in Facebook ads, but that resulted in $40,000 worth of sales. So I'm dealing with clients on different ends of their journey, their business journey, with different capabilities for ad spend, but it can work. So there is no right or wrong answer as to how much you should spend on your Facebook ad. Ultimately, it depends on the goal. What do you want to achieve from the ads? That's something that I talk about often when I talk to new clients, ask them what their goal is, and then we work out the ad spend from that. So what do the Facebook ads experts do when they're setting up their ads, and how can you do it too? The first thing they do is they research their targeting properly. So Facebook is an amazing platform to target your audience. They basically have got more consumer information than I'd say any other platform in the world, because we're on there. Well, most of us are on there a lot. We're constantly showing Facebook what we're interested in by liking pages, by sharing things, by commenting on posts, by going to events. Every single thing that we do within Facebook is being tracked by Facebook. And they're using that information to give, well, they don't give the information to marketers, but the information is accessible for marketers to target their ads to. Now, not only are they monitoring what you're doing within the Facebook platform, they're also looking at what you're doing on the internet and on the web. Anywhere you go on the web, a lot of the time you're being tracked and that information is making its way back into Facebook. So the targeting in Facebook is phenomenal. And the top Facebook ad specialists are really utilizing the power of this targeting to get their message in front of you. So I'll show you a couple of examples of targeting that may or may not be right. This is an ad that I've seen from Natalie Lussier. And when you see an ad in your mobile newsfeed or your desktop newsfeed, you can see in the top, on the ad on the left-hand side, in the top right, there's like a little triangle, a little kind of arrow. If you click on that, you can actually see the targeting that that marketer is using. So when I clicked on this one for Natalie Lussier, I can see that she wants to reach people interested in Lewis Howes. Now that's pretty good targeting, I'd say. For me, I like Lewis Howes. I like his page, I interact with his content. So she's done a really good job of realizing that the people that like Lewis Howes are probably similar to her target market. And she's right, because I love Natalie Lussier's stuff as well. So that's an example of a really, really, really good way of targeting her ad so that I see it and hopefully click on it and interact with it. This is another ad that I've seen in my newsfeed the past few days, actually, and it's from Roadshow Films and for a new movie that's coming out. And when I look at the targeting on that, they're saying they want to reach people interested in action films. Now, I'm not so sure about this one. Now, I do kind of like action films, but it's very broad, the action films. It's a very broad way to target people, and it doesn't really look like an action film to me either. The Nice Guys, they're in couples therapy. So I'm not so sure about this. I also don't get to go to the movies very much because I've got young kids. So I probably get to the movies twice a year, and I never have time to watch Netflix because I'm always working. So this is an example of, okay, I get what they're saying. They're trying to get people interested in films, but I'm maybe not the ideal audience for that. And it's just something that happens in Facebook as well, is just being very wary of using very general terms, such as action films, in your targeting, because you are probably going to end up showing it to people that might not be the ones that you want to get your message in front of. And I guess as well, for Roadshow Films, I'd assume that they have a fairly large marketing budget. So they can probably afford to be a lot more general in who they're running and showing their ads to. Whereas if you are on a limited budget, then it's super important that you get as clear as possible on the audiences that you want to target. So looking at the Facebook ad campaign structure, just so you know when I'm talking about targeting and when I'm going to be talking about some other things later on in this webinar, this is the layout of a Facebook campaign. So it starts at the top with the campaign name, and that's where you set your objective. For example, if you wanted to get likes for your Facebook page, you would choose a page like ad or a promote your page ad. If you want to get people to go to your website and maybe visit your shop or something, you would choose a clicks to website ad. So the campaign is basically just where you set the name of the campaign and the objective. So then we move down to the ad sets. This is where you set your targeting. And you can see here in this example, and this is a screenshot from the Facebook for Business page. So you can see in this example, there's 2 ad sets. So essentially there, you would be testing, in this example, 2 different lots of targeting. For example, for the films, we could maybe target people who like action films, and we could maybe target people who liked comedies. And we would run them in 2 different ad sets so that we would get some good information about which of those audiences responds best to our message. I'll talk about the ads, about split testing ads in a bit, but you can see here that within each ad set, there's 2 ads beneath each ad set. So this is how, this is a very basic Facebook campaign structure that you're seeing here. Campaign, ad set, and ad. And it's really important to understand that's how Facebook ad campaigns are set up when you go to set some up yourself. So how can you do what the experts are doing with your targeting? Okay, so think of some interests, action films, comedy films, or some pages, some Facebook pages that you may want to target with ads. So you're thinking of places where your audience is hanging out. First stop, usually I would go to Google, and I would research blogs, associations, events in your niche. So something related to your business. Once you've come up with a list of some things, then you can test them each individually using a small budget for each ad set. So for these ad sets here, comedy films, action films, put a little bit of budget to both of them, and then you can test your targeting. Don't lump them all in together. This is a common thing that I see with a lot of people that are running Facebook ads. They think of 10 different interests, they put them all into the one ad set, they run their ad. Their ad may get some good results, but they don't know which of those audiences were performing best for them. So when you're first starting out, and if you haven't run any ads before and you have no idea how people are going to respond to your ads, it's best to test them all individually with, say, even $5 worth of budget, and just test which ones work, and then slowly go through and switch off the ones that don't work. This is an example of the ads that I was running for this webinar. I ran some ads to let people know that the webinar was on, and I was testing 5 different audiences. So some of these audiences I hadn't tested before, and I just wanted to do just a little see if my message resonates with people that likes these things. The top two targeting that you can see there, web visitors and lookalikes, they're custom audiences. They're a little bit more advanced targeting that I've set up from within the Ads Manager. And I will talk about the little web visitors one in a bit. So what else are the top Facebook ads people doing? They're split testing. So if you don't know what split testing is, it's basically where it's also called A/B testing. You can see the A and the B in that image. You're testing one thing with another thing, and you're making a decision as to which one works best. So you can testing the green column versus the red column, and which one did people like better. The kind of ultimate split testing campaign happened when Barack Obama was in the running for the presidency. His team were on a massive split testing spree. They split tested everything to do with his campaign. So this is an example of 2 landing pages on his website, getting people to sign up and become involved so they could get their email address, so they could market to them, keep hitting them up, I guess, for donations in the US. Really, they were split testing it all, and they were finding, changes from 5% in performance to 500% just by split testing. It really made a massive difference, particularly when you're dealing with the millions of people that would be interacting with these things, with these campaigns, with the sign up button, with the donate now button. All those things made a huge difference to Obama's campaign, and obviously it turned out pretty well for him because he won. So that is the kind of ultimate split testing campaign. Taking it back down to small business owners and people running Facebook ads, this is an example of a split test, simple split test that we did for another webinar. And you can see here, the only difference in these 2 ads is one of them has an image of myself and Miranda in it, and one of them is purely a graphic. And that's a really easy way to split test things. And often you'll find with images, don't just assume that you know what your audience will react to. Oftentimes you'll find that it's quite different what your audience likes as opposed to what you like. So always be open to testing these things. Another thing that you might find with images is that if you are running your ads to an audience and they don't know who you are, oftentimes an image of you isn't completely appealing to them, because if they don't know who you are, it just may not have that effect in when they see the ad in the newsfeed as a really bright graphic might have. Yeah, so if someone already knows who you are and knows their brand, oftentimes they will like to see an image of you in an ad. But again, it's something that you need to test for your own brand and for your own business. Obviously, you can also test the copy in the ad. So this is an example from ShortStack, and you can see the image is the same, but in the ad copy, they're testing two different types of copy. So that's also something that you should test in your ad. Don't assume that the copy, that one lot of copy just may not resonate as well. So always challenge yourself to write at least 2 versions of your copy. Preferably one really short, like we see in the right-hand ad with ShortStack. It's just a one-liner and then the link. And then in the left-hand ad, they've got a couple of more lines. I would be tempted, I would usually go a little bit longer than that. So really make a distinction between long copy and short copy. But it's a really good example of how, testing different copy in your ad is a good idea. So how can you do it? Create some different images. So anytime you want to run an ad, create at least 2 images. Create at least 2 versions of the copy, and then set up the different ads within each ad set and test which one works best for your audience. So an example there, if you had 2 images and 2 versions of the copy, it would actually come out as 4 ads that you would test. Image A, copy 1, image B, copy 1, image A, copy 2, and image B, copy 2. Now, when you set these up in Facebook, Facebook actually automatically split tests it for you. Now, just one caveat, I'm a scientist by degree and I'm a bit of a data nerd. It's not actually a true split test in the true sense of the word, because what often happens is you'll start running your 4 ads, and maybe usually one of them, so let's say the first one, image A, copy 1, the first one starts to get clicks quicker than the other 3. And what usually happens Facebook will stop showing the other 3 ads to people, and it just shows the top one, because the early signs were that was the most popular one and that was the one people like. So Facebook tends to kind of run with the early one that gets a lot of likes. So in the true sense of the word, sometimes it's not a true split test, but for anybody that's starting out on Facebook, it's perfect. It's perfectly sufficient for you to use this method and let Facebook split test and optimize for you. So the third thing that the Facebook ad specialists are doing with their Facebook ads is they're using ads to grow their email list. Now, one thing that I always say to people is that using Facebook ads direct to sales is the least effective way of running a Facebook ad. There's many reasons for this. The main one being, if you think about your own experience using Facebook just as a normal person interacting with your friends, not from the perspective of being a business owner or a marketer, you're not there to be sold to. You're there to kind of hang out, chat, see what your mom was up to, or see what your friends were, see the festival they were all at. You're not explicitly there to be sold to. So oftentimes when you see an ad, which is purely asking you to buy something, we just don't react to those ads as well as an ad, for example, to a blog post or with some useful information, or to an email sign up. So that's just one thing to remember when you're running your ads. Ultimately, of course, we want to make sales, because if we don't make sales, we don't have a business. So yes, we want to make sales from our ads, but oftentimes with the ads, you have to kind of take a roundabout way of getting there so that you end up with a better result. And the smart Facebook ad specialists are using Facebook ads to grow their email lists. So a couple of examples. We've got one on the left here from Easy Webinar. So learn the 6 crucial steps to creating a high converting sales webinar. It's a free PDF download and video. And if you click on that, you'll be taken to a page or a landing page, I suspect, where you'll be asked to put in your name and your email address, and then you'll get the free PDF download and the video. And we've got Louise from Click Love Grow on the right here, and she's advertising her free photography course, which is awesome, by the way. So if you aren't a fan of Click Love Grow, then go jump on her Instagram account or her Facebook page and join up to this 7-day challenge. So she's offering this 7 days of free photography lessons. Sign up, and you click on that, you get taken to a page, you ask for your email address and your name, and you sign up. Now, the reason these ads work really well on Facebook is because they're giving something of value to their audience. Easy Webinar and Louise from Click Love Grow know that what the things that they're offering to the people that they're advertising to is highly useful. So when you see an ad like that in your newsfeed, and you probably all have seen ads like that in your newsfeed, you're much more likely to click on them because you don't feel that you're being sold to, and you're not being sold to. They're genuinely giving you something of value that will solve a problem for you or make your life better. And so you're more willing to interact with that rather than buy, Easy Webinar could be running one saying, buy our webinar platform and take you straight to a sales page. There's no kind of relationship there. It's highly unlikely that people are going to take that step straight from Facebook. So how can you do it? Think of something of value to your audience that you can give away for free. They're often called lead magnets. But it can be something such as a checklist, an ebook, video training. If you are, a bricks and mortar business, a free or a product-based business, a free sample or a discount code even. Create the thing, run an ad to the thing, asking for an email in exchange for the thing, and see how that works. Now, lead magnets is a very marketing term, and I know that can put some people off, but just really think, what do you have of value, whether it's some thoughts or a way of organizing things or some really useful information that would really solve a problem for your ideal audience, your ideal customer, or just make their life better, make their life easier. And then how can you craft that into some kind of offer that you can get the exchange of email for? It may be, the business that you're working in, you may want an a phone number instead. So you can do that as well. You can ask for a phone number. There's different ways of setting these things up. But really, especially if you have an online business, having something that you can give away for free in exchange for the email is a really, really useful thing to have. The Power Editor. The Power Editor. I love the Power Editor. And when we started advertising this webinar, my goal was to come on here and say you have to use the Power Editor. But actually I've got a confession now. And I did a little bit of research. I don't use the ads. Let me paraphrase. I don't use the Ads Manager to set up ads. I use the Power Editor to set up all my ads. And then I go into the Ads Manager and I use the Ads Manager to monitor the results. Now, I haven't set up ads in the Ads Manager for a while, but obviously before I came on this webinar, I thought I'll go in there and just to prove my point that the Power Editor is better. But in all honesty, they're a lot more alike than they were 6 months ago. There's a lot of the features, such as you used to only have a limited amount of text when you set up ads in the Ads Manager, so in your ad copy. Yesterday when I went in, nope, you can put in as much text as you want. But there are still a couple of features that I love about the Power Editor that will make me want to use them. Whether you think they're a reason for you to go in and learn the Power Editor will be up to you to decide. One thing though, a lot of people say the Power Editor is a beast and it's really complicated. In all honesty, it's like anything. If you don't know how to use it, you learn. And once you've learned, it's easy. So don't be put off by people saying it's really complicated. If you want to learn the Power Editor, I still believe that it gives the best experience in setting up ads from within the Facebook platform. But you make the choice. Don't let somebody else tell you, like I was going to tell you, you must use the Power Editor. Have a look at both platforms, make a decision whether you want to use the Ads Manager or the Power Editor. So the couple of reasons that I will stick with the Power Editor, and I love it, is most of the new features that Facebook brings out for ads end up in the Power Editor first. So you get access to them earlier. One example is Instagram ads. When the ability to run ads on Instagram was introduced, it was only available in the Power Editor initially. So obviously, if you were wanting to run Instagram ads, you had to learn how to use the Power Editor. So there's quite a lot of new features, and they're really changing things up a lot in terms of, and when, I should have said this at the beginning, when I talk about Facebook ads, I'm meaning Instagram ads as well. They're set up from exactly the same place. There's simply just a placement that you choose when you're setting up your ads. So any of the ads here that you've seen today could potentially also be run on Instagram. So yeah, these new features. So being a little bit of a nerd and a geek for Facebook ads, as I said, I want to know what these new features are. I want to be testing them. I've got clients that I want to be sometimes, I want to be running new things and letting them know of new things that we can run for their ads. So I want to be using that. So I get these new features first. The second reason that I love the Power Editor so much is it's so easy to duplicate ads. So oftentimes with clients, if we are running lots of different ad copy or lots of different images, that's a lot of ads to create. So the duplication feature in Power Editor is super easy. I'll create one ad with one version of the image, one version of the copy, and then I can just duplicate it really easily to add in all my different images, and I can then create another one with second version of the copy, same thing, copy it, duplicate it. So it's a really, really useful feature. This is a little screenshot from within the Power Editor of the little duplicate button. So I've highlighted it in yellow there. So if you have been using the Power Editor and you didn't know that you could duplicate it, that's the button that you need to use. So you can see there, you can quick duplicate and that just creates one, or you can do it by images. And then you can add lots and lots of different images, and then it will quickly create lots of new ads for you. So that's my reasons for using the Power Editor. So let's go on to the number one thing you must do even if you're not running Facebook ads yet. This is a little bit of a soapbox for me at the moment. You need to install the freaking tracking pixel. Even if you're not running ads yet, my belief is that it's super important that you get this pixel on your website. Now, what is the pixel? Some of you may have no idea what I'm talking about. So this little graphic explains it. So somebody visits your website, and if the tracking pixel is installed, then it will ping, we say ping the person, pixelate the person, and we'll add them into an audience in Facebook. So they're on your website, they have a look around, but they leave. They haven't given you their email address, they haven't bought anything. Most people that visit a website will leave, never take any action, and never come back to your website again. Bummer. However, if you have the tracking pixel installed and the person has been pixelated and captured into an audience in Facebook, you can then run an ad in Facebook that reminds them about your website, your product, or your service, and ask them to come back. And then that potentially can mean dollars for you. I wrote a blog post this week on it was a bit of tongue-in-cheek, 6 reasons for you not to install the Facebook pixel. And then I gave a little bit of an example at the end of the post. And the example was of a client of mine, and purely by the fact that she had the remarketing pixel on her website resulted in 22 extra sales of her online course. I think it's super important for you to get it on your website sooner rather than later. The reason being that the pixel starts tracking from the minute it's added to your website. So if you added the pixel today, but say you didn't start running ads for another couple of months, all that information will be getting gathered and collected. And when you do start running ads and you do start creating custom audiences, you will already have 2 months worth of data sitting there waiting to be used. If you wait until you feel you're ready to start running ads, you will only start collecting that information from the date that the pixel was installed. So I encourage you all to install that pixel. And I might even do a little competition at the end. For those of you that don't have it installed and that have been resisting, we might do a little giveaway. So remind me at the end. There's a Chrome if you're using Google Chrome as your browser, there's a little plugin called the Facebook Pixel Helper. That tells you if a website has got a pixel installed on it. I obviously use this plugin, this extension, for me to be able to check pages. So I will be adding tracking pixels, and there's also conversion pixels, which are another thing altogether. They help you measure somebody buying a product. They help you measure the conversion on your website. But I need to use this extension to just check that everything's added properly. But you can install it if you're using Chrome as well, and you can check which websites are pixelating you. So for example, I was looking, of course, at some polka dot clothes, and I can see that on this website, they're pixelating me. So you've probably had it happen to you, or you've seen it happen, where you look at something on the website, on somebody's website, you click on it, you might add it to your cart, but you don't end up buying. And then you come back to Facebook and you see an ad for the exact same product that you were just looking at. That is the remarketing pixel, the Facebook pixel in use. So that is how powerful it can be. I hope I've encouraged you to get that pixel installed. It can also reduce your ad costs. So when you're running ads to an audience that have already been on your website or already know your brand, and you're running ads to them, oftentimes the action that you're wanting them to take ends up being cheaper. It makes sense when we see things that we already know, we already have researched, or things that we like already. We're much more likely to take action on ads from them than we are from someone that we have no idea who they are. Just one thing to keep in mind though with the remarketing pixel: having an understanding of who your audience is and whether they might find it creepy to know that they're being remarketed to. So I'm going to give you a couple of examples, some excellent examples, dare I say, I will say, but they may not be right for every audience. So we can see John Loomer Digital, who's an advanced Facebook ads, I'll call him an expert, I like to call him an expert. You can see his ad saying, "I sent you an email recently about my Evergreen campaign workshop and you clicked it, or you clicked a link shared by someone who did. I'd love to see you at this workshop." So he knows, he's telling me in the ad that he knows that I've been taking these actions. Now, if you're selling to, for example, if you're business to consumer, B2C, say you're selling baby products and you're selling to mums, and they may or may not be internet savvy, that might freak them out to think that you are tracking their movements around the web and in their email. It doesn't freak me out because I get it that this is what he's doing, and I think it's highly clever marketing for him to run an ad like that. But just make sure that if you are remarketing to people, make sure it's appropriate for your audience. I love this ad on the right hand side. That's from Sumo Me. "I'm sad because you haven't tried Sumo Me." And that was because I clicked on a link to go and look at their sales page and hadn't ended up signing up. And within 5 minutes, literally, of being on that website, I saw this ad in my right-hand sidebar. I love it. I think it's quirky, it's genius. It really appeals to me, especially there's no branding on it at all. I know exactly why it's there because I've just been on the website, and I think it's genius. So that is the power of remarketing, and how you can really, really, really narrow down on being specific about who you want to target with certain things. Again, that's a bit more of an advanced strategy, but forward thinking, you're all going to be good at Facebook ads one day, potentially, and you've got to think about these strategies. So if that has freaked you out, the thought of doing all these things and it all becomes overwhelming, I am going to be running a Facebook ads masterclass. Now, it's still in the planning stage, still in the creation phase. Well, it's planned, we're just creating. That's going to be starting in June 2016. I'm going to go through all the things that I just talked about there, pre-running your ads, looking at your audiences, installing the pixels, setting your budget, all that targeting research. And then obviously when you're ready to set up your ads, how you're going to create your images and your copy, different tools that you can use. Of course, I will be showing you how to use the Power Editor, because that's what I use, and then looking at creating those custom audiences from the Tracking Pixel. And then once you've run your ads, you can't forget about looking at the results. That is super important, and it's a big step that lots of people don't do when they're running ads. They run ads, they say they don't work, but really they don't know why they didn't work, because they didn't look at the results. So if you do want to get on the wait list and be one of the first to know when the masterclass is launched, then there's a bit.ly link, bit.ly FB Ads June. So if you go to that, you can sign up for the waitlist. We are going to be sending an email out when you get the replay link to this webinar, and the link will be in that as well. Okay, I am going to do some Q&A now, I think, and I'm going to stop sharing my screen. So you should have me back. Hey there. I am going to check, just to check that. Okay, we've got heaps of questions. That's awesome. That's great. I've got another screen here. I'm not just looking at something beautiful. I'm looking at my screen for the questions from the webinar. Alrighty, let's just check that you've got me back. So hopefully that wasn't too much information. It wasn't too much of an overload. Where are we? Alrighty. Yep. We've got me back. Awesome. All right. So let's do some Q&A. So we had a couple via email. Tracy said, I don't get how the page post works in Power Editor. Would love to know more about that. So I'm not entirely sure what you're asking, but I think what you're asking is running a page post ad from Power Editor. So a page, there's different ways you can set up a page post ad. It's essentially it's a boosted post, but you can set it up from your Facebook page by clicking the Boost Post button, or you can set up a page post ads from within Ads Manager and the Power Editor. So if you set it up in the Power Editor, you have the option to use an existing post that's already been put out on your page, or the beauty of, in fact, this is a good question, that it is another beauty of the Power Editor, which I still don't think you have in the Ads Manager, is the ability to put out a dark post. So you can create a different post, but it will not show up on your page, and it's called a dark post. And obviously if you, so for example, say you put out a post on your page, you also wanted to test a different image, but you didn't want to put the same post out on your page again because people might think that was a bit weird, then you could run the page post ad from the Power Editor and set it up as a dark post. So you create a new post with a different image, run it as an ad. People will see it as an ad, but they'll never see it as a post in your page. I think that's what you were asking. If you're on the webinar, Tracy, and that wasn't what you were asking, then type in the chat bin box and Venus will get the questions to me. We had quite a few from Kim, so I'll answer some of them, and then we'll go on to the other ones, and then hopefully I'll answer the rest of them if we get through everyone's. So Kim said, how do you decide how much to spend on an ad? So that, yeah, it's a common question. It depends on your goal. It depends what you want to get out of the ad. So there are like average costs for different actions, and different people have different opinions on these as to how much it should cost you for specific actions. And it is different for different industries. It's hard. So for example, I'll use, say, website conversions or page likes. Page likes is easy. It's easy for people to understand. So some people will be paying like 5 cents for a page like. So that's running an ad to get people to click on that like button. Some people will be getting likes for 5 to 10 cents. I think the average, if you look at stats and different studies, the average is 30 to 80 cents for a page like. Personally, I don't like to spend more than 50 cents for a page like, but some people have figured out that the more likes on their page actually leads to more sales, so they may be willing to pay $5 per page like. You see how it's quite different. But say your goal was to get 100 likes on your Facebook page, And if we look at the average that's quoted by kind of industry standards and different reports is between 30 to 80 cents. So let's say 50 cents. So if you wanted 100 likes on your page at 50 cents, then your budget would be $50. So that's really, you know, there is no right or wrong answer. You saw the examples that I used. D put $21 behind an ad and made $600 in sales. My other client had you know, over $7,000 in ads and made 40,000 in sales. You really got to look at what your goal is, what do you want to achieve, and then look at average costs and then start running them. Because what you often find is the costs will be lower, often sometimes higher. You don't know until you try it. What else? Doesn't matter how many likers a page has. I actually did a little Facebook Live video on that during the week. Yes and no. Essentially, a like is it's a vanity metric. You know, it's really nice. We all want to be loved and liked, and it looks nice. But likes on a page do not sales make. However, likes on a page do add to social proof, and people do look at social proof. People will judge you, unfortunately, depending on the amount of likes you have on your page. It's unfortunate, but it happens. So I think, yes, you should have at least 100 likes on your page, preferably 500 likes, or not you should have, but it's something to aim towards, because people will look at it and decide wrongly that it means that you're better at this or better than that. But yeah, it can make a difference, the likes. Often though, what you'll find with page likes is if you're running a different type of ad. So I've been running ads to the webinar. I've been running them as website conversion ads. The likes on the Dotty Media page have been going up as people have been seeing the ad. So you will often get more likes simply by running any type of ad. That's often what happens. Fizzy Pop Designs asked, what percentage of your budget would you use on testing? That's a great question, and I was doing a workshop with Brooke McCarthy over the weekend. Hey Brooke, if you're watching, and somebody asked that exact question. And again, there's no definitive. What we were saying when you're first starting out, maybe a lot of industry standards say 10% of your budget on marketing. In reality, for a lot of small business owners, 10% can be quite a lot. So 5%, maybe if you could spend 5%. And what Brooke was saying, Brooke does group coaching, and she's had a lot of, you know, bigger clients, not just small business owners, solopreneurs, and a lot of those bigger clients will be spending well over 10% of their revenue on marketing. And really, it's one of those things that you test. I'm not trying to kind of get out of the question. You have to test it. When you run some ads, you test what your ROI, your return on investment is. You're looking at your conversion rates. So you're looking at the number of people that click through to your website. And then out of those people that click through, how many of them bought your product or signed up for your email list. You're monitoring all those different conversion rates of the people that saw the image, how many of them clicked on it to get to your website, and then you look at those numbers, and then you're like, okay, if I'm spending this much, I can expect to get this much back, therefore it would make more sense for me to spend less or more. Hope that answers the question. Where else are we? Okay. I have only ever used Ads Manager. Where is Power Editor? Great question. So when you are in Ads Manager, you have to be using the Google Chrome browser, not Safari or Firefox or Internet Explorer, Google Chrome. And when you're actually in Ads Manager, if you're using Chrome, you'll see there's a button for Power Editor. It just says Power Editor in the menu in the Ads Manager. You click through to that, and then it takes you to the Power Editor. So it used to be kind of really sad outside of the Facebook ads platform, but it's fully integrated with it now, and you see the menu header for it there. Claire says, not sure if my website allows the pixel. Wow. Yeah, some websites, I think with Wix websites, I don't think you can add the pixel. Weebly possibly as well. I don't know that you can add the pixel. That is a reason to not go with one of those website platforms. My my belief is that WordPress is the best in terms of SEO and just in general, the ability, you know, the functionality to do lots of things on there. So yeah, if you don't have a website, if you've got a website that you can't put it on, sorry. What you can do though, again, these are little advanced strategies, is if you were running an ad, say to get an email sign up, you could use a piece of, like a third-party piece of software, something like Leadpages or Unbounce or something like that. And those platforms allow you to add the pixel. So you may not be taking them directly to your website straight away. You might be taking them to a landing page, and that could have the pixel on it. So that is an option if your website doesn't accept them. Alex, how do you install the pixel? Good question. I have a blog post that tells you exactly how to do that, and we'll put that link in the email that goes out. So Miranda, if you're watching and able to, the email has been scheduled to be sent out with a replay link, but we can probably make, well, we can definitely make sure that that tracking pixel link gets sent to you one way or another. So we'll do that. I guess if Venus is on, Venus, if you're able to, I know you're busy doing the questions, if you're able to get the link for that with that blog post, it's how to install the tracking pixel on your website, and put it in the chat box if you're able to. If not a problem, we'll put it in the email. But yeah, good question. And in that blog post, I've got a video just showing you exactly where you find it in Ads Manager and exactly how to put it on your website and lead pages. Kim says, and you know, so obviously lots of questions on the pixel, because I get that it seems like a hard thing to do, and there's a lot of questions on it, so that's great. Kim says, does the landing page where the pixel is installed need to be a specific landing page, or can you install it on the home page? So the Facebook pixel should be on every single page on your website. It basically should be added between the head tags of your theme, of the whole theme, so it's on every page. Now, that might sound complicated. If you're using WordPress, there's a plugin for that, funnily enough. There's a few different plugins. I've used insert headers and footers before, so that allows you to add code to the headers and the footers. And that, you know, if you know how to use, if you've used any kind of plugins, if you use WordPress, it's a real simple install. And once you know where to get the code from in the Ads Manager, you just copy and paste it over. So no, it doesn't have to be a specific landing page. It should be on every page on your website. Brookie asked, I think, yeah, can you do it on Wix? No, I don't think so. Carly, for a page of about 750 likes, is it better to create an ad for likes first, or an ad for website product clicks to aim for sales? Well, I think if you've got 750 likes, I don't know that you necessarily need to be advertising for more likes. There's already a bit of social proof there. But then if you're running it directly to get sales, you remember, like I said, that's the least effective way of running Facebook ads. What do you have of value? Now, it doesn't have to be a lead magnet, because I know some people, this just doesn't work. But do you have a blog post? Do you have, I'm not sure what your product is, but for whatever your product is do you have a how-to page, or do you have, you know, how you can use that product, or just something of use? And it doesn't have to be a download. It can just be a page on your website with useful information about your product that you would take people to, depending on the price point of the product as well. Anything that's kind of over $100 can be a really hard sell on Facebook, especially when it's to an audience that doesn't know that you exist. So for your, you know, not knowing what your product is, Carly, but for example, you may run an ad to your page likes. So the people that already like your page, say you run an ad to them to ask them to come to your website, that will probably get a much better response than you running an ad to these people here that have no idea who you are, and then you're asking them to come to your website. Does that make sense? Because these people already know who you are. They've already liked your page. So they're much more likely to take that action and go to your website than these people who are like, ooh, who is this? She's just asking me to buy something. Does that make sense? Oh, Venus is typing in, oh, you sell artworks and art prints. Yeah, so maybe I could make a tutorial on drawing. Perfect, something like that. Or something, you know, even just relevant to, your print. People love to know what goes on in the background, like how you create your beautiful art prints and artworks. People love to know that stuff. So even like, you know, some kind of blog post or a video showing how you make your artwork, people love that, really like to see those things. So that could be something that would be really, you know, of use to your audience, and that is just enticing them, it's getting them to know you, it's building some kind of relationship with them and you, and yeah, hopefully ultimately getting them to buy, because that means you have a business. Cool. Rebecca, what type of content do you advise promoting to encourage more clicks and visits to your website? So blog posts are great to get people to your website. The workshop I was talking at the weekend, it was 2 workshops. One of them was blogging for business, and so I spoke about using Facebook ads to get more eyeballs on your blog posts. So hopefully if you're writing blog posts, they're useful to your audience. You're writing them, you know, with the aim of giving useful information, you know, or giving a viewpoint on something. And yeah, they work really well from Facebook ads, running ads to those. Again, and also if something like a lead magnet, getting people to sign up for a lead magnet on your website, or for special offers, people will click through to get special offers on your website, because everybody loves a good deal. Excuse me. What else have we got? So what the F does a conversion pixel mean, and why do I need it? So I've been talking about the Facebook tracking pixel, which should go on every page on your website. You also can track conversions. Now, the way Facebook's using these pixels is kind of changing up slightly, but you don't need to worry about that. But for all intents and purposes, like a conversion pixel is basically when you pixelate somebody after they've taken the action that you want them to take. So for example, the ones that I showed you, so say Louise's Click Love Grow free 7-day photography course. So when I click on her ad, I will come to a landing page, and that landing page is asking me to enter my email address. And then once I've entered my email address, I then land, boom, on a thank you page saying, thank you for signing up. Your 7-day challenge is on its way to your inbox. When I land on that thank you page, that's when I get pinged as converting. And that is what we say, you know, the conversion pixel pinged me. So, and again, it's all about creating that heaps of information back in Facebook. So not only did I click on the ad, but I also gave Louise my email address and landed on the thank you page. So that's sending that information to Facebook that I like to click on. I'm interested in photography, and I'm super interested in it because I was quite willing to hand over my email address and then begin a relationship with Click Love Grow and Louise. So that's how the conversion pixels work. And a common mistake that I see on websites, and remember I can check everybody's website with this little Facebook pixel helper, is they put the conversion pixel on every page on their website, or they put it on the initial landing page that people land on. Now, what you'll find once you start running, or if you're already running Facebook ads, lots of people might click on an ad, but when they get here, they don't actually end up giving their email address or making the sale. They don't like what they see for whatever reason, or their internet might drop out, or they're on their mobile phone. And in Australia, we all know half the time the reception is pretty crappy. They get there and they can't get the page to load, so they go back to Facebook and then you just carry on scrolling. So they may have clicked and landed on the page, but they haven't converted yet. And so that's one thing, you know, I see a lot of people putting that conversion pixel here, and actually it should be here once I've actually done the action. Hope that makes sense. How do you know? Oh, this is from Kim. Is there a minimum length of time to run ads for? That's a really good question. When you start running an ad in Facebook, it's constantly optimizing the ad. So when I say it, like I talked about Facebook and the algorithm, so it's constantly using the information. So the longer the ad runs, the more information Facebook gets about who's clicking on the ad, what type of people they are that are clicking on it, and then making decisions as to who to show the ad to. Now you have to remember, Facebook wants the advertisers to have an awesome experience. Facebook wants that to happen, because if I have really good performing ads, I'm going to spend more money with Facebook. I'm going to keep on giving them my money. If they are showing my ads to people that are not interested in my stuff, and it ends up costing me $100 and I didn't get any clicks to my website, I didn't get any email signups, I'm going to think twice about running any more ads on Facebook. So Facebook wants me as an advertiser to have an awesome experience. So therefore, every time the ad gets clicked on, every time someone interacts with the ad, Facebook's using that information about the people that are clicking, because it knows everything about us, and then it's deciding who to show those ads to for future. So oftentimes, the longer the ad runs, the better it gets, up to a point. And then what you'll find is you'll get, they call it kind of ad fatigue. People get too used, either your audience isn't big enough to keep showing it for extended periods of time, or people are just fed up of seeing the same image and copy, and there's indicators within the results that you use to show you when that's happening. But yeah, oftentimes you'll start an ad and maybe the costs will be here, and then once it's run for a little bit, the costs start to go down. You know, your cost for whatever action you're taking, they'll go down, and then they'll stay down, and then at some point they'll go back up. So there's no set time as to what that process will be. I've seen some reports, some people saying that, 2 weeks, a minimum of 2 weeks to run. And, if you can run an ad for 2 weeks, if it's an ongoing ad, then great. But sometimes, for a webinar, I usually wouldn't run an ad for 2 weeks for a webinar. I would usually only run it for a week. But then I've probably done lots of, before I run a webinar, I've probably done quite a bit of testing with different types of ads and audiences, so that I kind of know who's going to, I've got a fair idea of who's going to click on those ads. So I've already been doing some pre-research. So there's no set answer, but just wanted to give you an understanding of that process with the ads and how it works within Facebook. Anna asks, is there any way to stop paying for ads to people who've already purchased via your website using the Facebook tracking pixel? Yes, that's why you use the Facebook tracking pixel. So when you have the pixel installed, you basically then can go into the ads manager or the power editor, and you create what's called custom audiences. So the latest blog post that I wrote, 6 reasons not to install the pixel on your website, I use an example in there of that exact technique. So I was running ads to get people to buy for a client, buy client's products, and I created an audience of people that had, well, a few audiences, but one of the audiences was people that had landed on the thank you page after purchasing. And then when I'm running the sales ads, I'm excluding that audience from the audience. So it is a bit, that's more advanced stuff, but yes, definitely that's one of the main reasons that you want the pixel on there, because it gives you that ability to not waste your money showing ads to people that are either already on your email list or have already been to the sales page and already bought the thing. Yeah, you don't want to waste your money showing your ads to those people, and you need to have the pixel installed if you're going to be able to do that. Holly, I have given away dollars in gift cards and still cannot get people to spend any money, and sent $1,000 in Facebook ads and made no money. Am I doing it wrong? Probably, if you've spent that much in Facebook ads. I guess not knowing, it's another thing as well with I have a client at the moment, and she has done a lot of giveaways of her product, and she, yes, is finding that, yes, people love it when we all love a giveaway, but oftentimes the people that are going for the giveaways aren't people that will buy. They're not the buyers. So not knowing your exact strategy and what you've been doing and what you've been running, I can't really say. But yes, if you've spent that much in ads and people haven't been buying, then there's a disconnect somewhere. So, and again, the Facebook ads results can tell you where the disconnect's happening most of the time, well, all the time really. If the ads are running and nobody's clicking on the ad, then the problem's in Facebook. So either your targeting's wrong, your image is wrong, or your copy's wrong. If people are clicking on the ad and coming to your website and then just coming back and not doing anything there, then something's wrong. There's a disconnect between the website and who you're showing the ads to, or the people that are clicking on the ad. So yeah, you should be able to spend $50 to $100 on ads and get a bit of beginning to get an idea of what's working and what's not working. Giving away gift cards, yeah, it doesn't the gift cards don't necessarily translate to sales. Again, it's looking at, how much is your product, how much is your product worth? Do you need to kind of give the people give the people that you're showing the ads to something of value, and not just necessarily a gift card, but something else tangible that is relevant to your product? Are you building an email list? I mean, everybody, that's one of the most important things I think for businesses to do, is to grow an email list. People still open their emails. People will still like that relationship through email. Yes, we're all very guarded of emails because we do all get too much, but it's still a really valuable way of building a relationship with a customer and then taking them along that journey to ultimately buying from you. So Kim asked again, when we say targeting, can you break it down who I should be targeting? Can't you just tell me? Not really. Well, yes and no. There's ways of researching your targeting, and I covered off, just a couple. I talked about targeting a bit. With this webinar, you will be sent a link to my targeting checklist. So it's a simple process that I've kind of broken down for you. That's obviously the process I use with clients is a lot more involved. The targeting can make or break your ad. And when I start with a new client, I usually spend at least an hour researching the target, at least, usually a few hours, looking at targeting and different pages to target different interests, different audiences, and then obviously testing them, seeing what worked, what didn't work. There will be general interests for everybody that we could target, but oftentimes, like the action films and the comedy films, oftentimes those general interests are they're like spray marketing. They're too general and they're not really going to hone in on who your audience is. And there's a process, and that's something I'll be covering off in the masterclasses, the exact process that I use when I'm looking for things, interests and audiences to target for different clients' ads. It makes a huge difference if you get the targeting wrong, huge. Okay, and another question, if I just want to get some more leads, what's the best way to do it? I would recommend, we talked about the lead magnets, but running a website conversions ad. Instead of you can run a clicks to website ad, but a website conversion ad would be better. The difference between these two, it's something I get asked a lot as well. So a clicks to website ad, the objective of the clicks to website ad is to get people to click through to your website, and that's it. You're not wanting them to take any action on your website, you just want them to click. A website conversion ad, the objective of that ad is to get people to come to your website and take an action when they get to your website. And because of the tracking that Facebook has and monitoring what you do on websites, monitoring what you do in Facebook, they know the people that are more likely to go to a website and take an action as opposed to the people that just go to a website and don't do anything. So again, yes, it's creepy as a person, as a normal person, that all our actions are being tracked. But as a marketer, it's great because it gives lots of information. We don't get the specific information, but it allows us to target people that are more likely to take certain actions when you show them an ad. That looks like it's all the questions for now, which is great. It's a little bit over an hour, but as I said, I was happy to stay and answer all your questions. I think that's all. I'm just looking at, cool. Okay, yeah, I forgot to, at the beginning, I can see lots of you were saying hi, and a few people that I know there. Hey there, lots of you, some locals, some people from Perth, Sydney. Thank you so much for joining me on the webinar today. I hope you got at least one takeaway of something that you're going to implement. We do have a free Facebook group, Get Social and Savvy, and the bit.ly link is bit.ly/Get Social and Savvy. If you click on that, you can join the group, and I would love for you to come in there and tell us one thing that you're going to do now with your Facebook ads that you hadn't done before. And here we go. I was going to do a giveaway. If you're still on the webinar right now and you haven't got the Facebook tracking pixel installed on your website, I'm going to give away a copy of the Thank You book, chapter 1. It's called Thank You Chapter 1. It's the story, the thank you story of, it's a great business book, how they built their business and some amazing business lessons. I read it a few weeks ago and I could not put it down. The Thank You founders, they're going to be speaking at ProBlogger this year along with me. Well, not along with me, but I'll be there too speaking. And yeah, it's an amazing story. So if you haven't got the Pixel installed on your website yet and you've been procrastinating over it, if you go and install it and then come to our Facebook group and say, I installed the Pixel, then you will go in the running to win a copy of the Thank You book. There you go. Now there's an incentive to do it. Okay, thank you so much for coming. Have a wonderful Thursday and I'll see you later. Bye.